What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Bradley Walker, and welcome to a special Walker Report here on Sunday evening at 4 o'clock from 4 to 6. Guys, I'm sorry. I came back last week from Nashville and was tired from work, and my allergies were bothering me, and I had a raspy voice. So I prolonged it till right now, today. I believe we will have Adam. I don't know about Lewis. He said that he may not be able to join with audio. He may not be home. But again, this is the Walker Report. Guys, we are part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio and NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. We are sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. It is the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Welcome in, guys. Like I said, this is a special Sunday edition of the show. This probably will rarely ever happen. But I did just get back, guys, from last week. There was no show because yours truly was at the outdoor game between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Nashville Predators at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville Stadium, guys, plays host to the NFL team, the Tennessee Titans. So I was away last week. Like I said earlier this week, I had a raspy voice and was tired from work and getting back. But let me welcome in, guys. Let's see here. I think I may have one of my co-hosts down here. If he is ready to go. There he is. All right, so let's bring him on. What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me? You got me?
Hear you.
Alrighty then.
I can hear you.
I didn't know how good the audio quality was going to be on my phone while I waited for my computer to load up. I was running late. The game we went over, so I was running late.
Cool. No worries, bud. No worries. How's everything going?
It's getting better. Getting things figured out. So
good. That's good. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it was touch and go over the weekend. I didn't know if I was gonna have enough to pay the rent.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I got it figured out though.
That's good.
So I'm gonna have a house for another month at least. Yeah, I had to run to the bathroom real quick when I got home, so that's why I was like, I'll join in progress. So go ahead and get started, and I'll be along in just a moment.
Yeah, Lewis messaged me earlier and asked if I had a call-in number, and I'm like, I don't have a call-in number anymore.
Right, no, it's all
a while, and he's like, well, I may not be able to join because I don't know if I said, well, if you can't join, you can't join, and we'll see you next Thursday. That's
right.
The life the way it is. So yeah,
that's what happens. That's kind of the drag of running the show on an off night, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not a guys. This will not be happening.
Not a prototypical.
Because during football season, this will not happen. Period.
Problem. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a couple of shows during, especially like the first weekend. I'd love to do a show with the first weekend of the NFL season. That would be a lot. I think that would be a lot of fun. But we were gonna do that last year, but then we just weren't really available that day. So
right.
Oh well, it happens.
We can work that out. That out.
Sure we can. All right, cool. I have my laptop loaded up now, so I'm gonna switch over to that.
All right. Go right ahead, but I'll zoom you back in there. He pops back in here. We can talk. We can talk NASCAR.
I'm back.
So, bud, let me. We didn't unable to talk. I know there's been 2 races or 3 races now this season.
2 races have happened. 2 races are complete, and we're 27 laps into this week's race.
Into the 3rd one. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Daytona 500?
Your prototypical Daytona 500. Thought it was great. I really thought that the cars came into them. I really thought the cars came alive. And I really thought once people committed to, you could go anywhere, and if you got enough people to go with you, you could pass and you could move. And I really thought it. I thought it was a fun show. I thought California last week was all right. It's the problem is that it's motorsports. It is what it is. You're never outside of Daytona and Talladega. you're never going to be able to develop a car that's not going to get it. You put the right scheme under it, or the setup. Sorry, I'm watching. I got the race on here, and they.
Oh, you're okay. You're good. You're good.
I just misused the word. You put the right setup under it, and you're going to be able to get a 2.5, 3.5 second lead. The top 10, you've got everybody separated by a second, by a quarter of a second after, outside of the lead. Everybody separated by about a half a second. But you're not going to get up there and catch the leader at this point. And we had the first, I got a competition caution while I was in the bathroom. And this is just what motorsports is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately there's nothing that's going to change that.
Right.
Do you got your TV on? Can I get you to mute your TV or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. But actually, what happened is the TV that I had, the picture tube blew out the back of the. So I had to get a new TV, and I don't have a way of. Hang on just a second.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I'll turn it off. I wasn't sure if that was gonna affect it or not. But...
Yeah, I can hear it in the background, and it's really distracting.
Right.
Okay, now we have the competition caution. So we've just gone to comp.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't mean to be a bother, but
no, that's okay. But no worries. No worries.
The other thing, I'd hate to get copyright struck for something like that
in the background.
yeah, I've seen that happen before, where people have had things on in the background, and the copyright, the YouTube ID has picked it up.
Right.
Excuse me. I hate when my computer makes noises. Yes.
Got a 3-hour warning before they drop the puck in Chicago with the Lightning.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask me about NASCAR, or did we want to move on?
No, but I mean, I just wanted to talk about that because of, the Daytona 500 happening. And what I saw about it is, when you have, it seemed like to me that the brands were, backing each other up. So if you were Toyota, you're following all the Toyota.
I find that annoying.
Ford, you're following all the Fords and so on and so forth on down the.
As a fan of racing, I just want you to. I would rather have them just go.
Right.
Pick a dance partner and let's dance. Because if all the Ford guys work together and all the Chevy guys work together and all the Toyota guys work together, and you can't go with anybody but a Ford guy's going to go with a Ford guy, and a Toyota's guy is going to go with the Toyota guy, and a Chevy guy's going with the Chevy guy. It's like, it's not fun racing. I want to see them out there battling each other. I want to see the Toyota guys getting into the Toyota guys, and I want to see them 3 wide and making moves that are crazy moves. Oh, did you just change the box?
I just changed the boxes. Yeah.
I thought maybe Lou had jumped in, but we did have, and glad to see Harrison Burton walk away from his flip. That was scary.
Yeah.
I know you had said that you were watching it.
I did, yeah. Like I said, I tuned in to watch it. And they went to, I think I saw the end of the race because they went into, they call bonus racing or something like that. And I had never heard of that before in NASCAR before. So maybe that'll be something that I'll ask.
I'm back.
But yeah, I mean, that's basically all the NASCAR. I really, Bud, to be honest with you, don't really have a lot to talk about outside of Major League Baseball and outside of the crap that's going on in Ukraine right now with all the suspensions.
All the teams that are pulling out. You want to talk about the Ukraine situation for a moment?
We can do that. Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Normally we wouldn't talk about that kind of stuff, and I don't like the racial politics that a lot of people like to get into, and the other nonsense that's non-sports related. But I think this is kind of one of those things that transcends sports and sports talk. And I wish the people of Ukraine the best.
Absolutely.
And good luck. I think it's crazy, and I look at all the leagues that are pulling out, and every league around that all the leagues that are all the teams that are pulling are all the leagues that are getting rid of their that are dropping Russian teams. And teams that are pulling, there was a couple of teams. There was a Finnish team and a Swedish team that pulled out of the KHL, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
I knew that there was a couple of Finnish teams. There was a couple of Scandinavian teams that dropped out of the KHL. I don't know if they maybe joined the Swedish Elite League or something like that.
Like I said, I know the IIHF and FIFA,
Yeah.
the FA, they've suspended not only Russia but Belarus as well.
Right.
Have been suspended out, and it will have to we'll have to see how
long
goes, how
and where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Because if they do, because I've seen reports that Moldova is on the hit list.
Yeah.
And what happens next? Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
And
correct.
If they lose, if the Ukraine falls and then Moldova falls, will they go after NATO countries?
That's the good question.
And if they do hit an active NATO member, what happens then? Where do we go from there?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you think to yourself, like, are we on the verge of World War III?
I already feel that it is World War III. I mean, with all the way the world is reacting to the, I would say, it doesn't feel like a local conflict. It doesn't feel like like other conflicts in the recent past, where it was it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the first Gulf War. It doesn't even. It feels like a global conflict at this point. With the way the world has responded, it feels like a global conflict, and it feels like.
I will say this: if China gets involved, then we're all in deep trouble. I mean, as long as
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when we were talking about a month ago at the beginning of the Olympics, before the Olympics kicked off. Is that I was worried about the Russians invading Taiwan, and the snowball and the domino effect that may embolden the North Koreans to invade South, or cause the South Koreans to fear a northern invasion and preemptively strike, and and with all the accusations of war crimes against the Russians, and the fact did you hear about the Klitschko brothers?
Yes, I did.
And they've taken up arms to defend their country and their city. It's very much a every able-bodied kind of situation.
Right.
Looks like the 20 had a real bad. Oh no, he's fifth. Okay, rough pit stop. And it's one of those where we come, we go to sporting events and we try to forget about the world, and it's one of those things where you can't forget about it.
No, that's the unfortunate part. You're right.
And the unfortunate, that right now it feels so far. It feels like another world. It feels like it's somewhere else.
Right.
It's not happening here, and so a lot of people don't want to bother with it. They don't want to fool with it. And I don't know where it goes from here.
No, I don't. I don't know if there'll be some kind of peace offering, and that
peace.
Every
time they've had peace talks, they've stalled.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what happens next.
Right.
And even especially in terms of we come here to talk sports, and we want to hang out and get away from the world, but sometimes the world is ever present.
Yes. Yep. Okay, whoever just said hello and is a Facebook user, could you please identify yourself? Because I don't know who you are.
Okay, well, welcome. Thank you for watching. We appreciate. Oops. Be quiet, you. We appreciate all our viewers.
Absolutely. I already had a buddy, the guy that I attended the game with the other day.
Right.
He already said hello on here as well. So
Welcome. Thank you. So Haas, the Haas, Gene Haas, he owns Haas Automation, and he has teams in NASCAR and F1.
right,
They dropped their Russian driver Nikita Mazepan. I think, in a way, it's unfortunate for, I feel for the normal, average, everyday Russian. I
right,
feel for the Russian soldier, who's being, when you join the military, and a lot of those guys are conscripts, so it's not like they had a choice. Where the U.S. has I'm not sure how familiar you are with the military, but the U.S.'s military is all volunteer as and has been since the mid 70s. I think
right,
70. It may even be the late 70s, 78, somewhere between 73 and 78. The military went all volunteer, and so we don't have conscripts in our military, but a lot of countries around the world do.
yeah,
They have mandatory service for anyone under a certain at a certain age, under a certain age,
mm-hmm.
and that's the screwy thing about this is that you have normal people who just want to live their life and protect their country in case of a threat.
Yeah,
You join the especially people that volunteer for military service.
right,
You volunteer to be able to protect your country because not because you like fighting wars, but because a sense of duty and patriotism and adventure and honor, and you
mm-hmm.
wanna defend your homeland, and then you're forced into doing something that you don't want to do,
right,
and then you look at all the people that are being just caught up in this thing. People that are completely innocent, that don't have anything to do with it. Like, I don't think Nikita Marzipan had anything to do with the invasion of the Ukraine, but yet he still gets shafted as an F1 driver
right,
because of who he is and who his family is.
mm-hmm.
I don't think if he had a vote, if he had a say, he would have voted to keep driving F1 cars and not invade the Ukraine.
Right, correct. Yeah, I don't think he, it was one of those things where he meant. I don't think he had any intention of doing that. Why would
Right. And
why
he
would
didn't have any, he didn't have any say in whether they were going to do it or not. And
right?
yet he still gets caught in the crossfire.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just a second. I'm gonna do something in here real quick. Let's see here. Change this to. Let's see here. Yeah, and I did read, but there's an article that was talking about that Russia plans on um, what you would call it. They planned on here. I wanted to change it to this.
Invading Moldova.
No, they're gonna they have sanctions in they're gonna there we go. I'm gonna put that up and people can get offended if they
There
want
you
to get
go.
offended.
Right, I like it.
They
There we
they
go.
they're going to appeal their ban from international soccer.
Mm,
I don't know anything about hockey at
I'm
this point,
no, I
but as of right now, they are going to appeal their ban in soccer, from what I understand. So
I think the damage is already done.
yeah,
It's too little, too late. Even if they were to withdraw and go home tomorrow, if they shut it down at, let's say, at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we read a ceasefire. Screw it, we're going home.
yeah,
And every Russian troop left, and all the Ukrainians got to come home. Damage is already done. It's too late.
yeah,
It's too late. They've already screwed the pooch.
yep. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Let's see. If you want to, but we can change. I found some more evidence about the Oakland Hills Country Club catching on fire. I think
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We can talk about that for a few minutes.
we talked about that a couple weeks ago. According to this is from the New York Times, as I always, or no, sorry, the New York Post. Apologize. This is from the New York Post. I always want to try to quote who I get these from.
Yeah, it's giving credit. It's giving
Yeah,
credit.
yeah, it's not my
We
word.
always,
Yeah,
always giving credit to those who and that way we can't be accused of stealing other people's work.
right, correct. It said the origin of the fire that burned down Oakland Hills Country Club might have included propane tanks, a torch, and a heater that were found at the scene. According to the report by the Detroit Free Press, which is another newspaper.
Yep.
Anyone out there knows that that's in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought it could have been weeks to determine the exact cause. 2 propane tanks and a propane heater and torch were reportedly found as firefighters were battling the fire and confiscated the evidence. Officials have said they may be unable to determine the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. And I'm not saying malicious.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like they did it on purpose. I'm just saying that it was one of those dumb shit things.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things where you get away with it for 20 years, but the one time you don't, you wish you'll never do it.
Right. Yep.
And I know you work in a bank, but I work in a factory. You know, it's like, man, I wish I didn't wear safety. I didn't have to wear safety glasses. You know, I could get away with that for 20 years. You know, I think I've had one thing come up and hit me in the face where I was like, man, I was glad I had my safety glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the one day you decide, yeah, I don't need them. The one time you leave them off.
Well, the funny thing,
and that's when you lose an eye, you know.
When I was in high school, I was in woodshop class.
Right.
The first thing that we built were like what they call sticks to guide wood through planes, or through saws or whatever. And lo and behold, somebody forgot to take theirs one day and cut their finger off, and that's awesome. It. That's the one thing that you
20
don't
years
take the safety precautions with. Yep.
20 years. You can run bandsaw for 20. I ran bandsaw before.
Yep.
Run bandsaw, and I never even came close to cutting my hands. But the one time you're not thinking about it is the time you lose your finger.
Yep, that is correct.
Because I had safety equipment and I had procedures, and I always followed my procedures, and I always used my safety equipment. And the one time that you're like, yeah, screw it, I'm not gonna, they say that most car crashes take place within a mile of home. And you get complacent. I don't need to put my seatbelt on. Like yesterday, I don't mean to just talk about random shit, but me and my friends it was like a 2-minute drive down the road to go get some food.
Right.
And I made everybody put their seatbelts on. I'm not going anywhere until everybody's got their seatbelts on. Sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I don't either, but yep, I'm the same way.
I'm like, I understand you're a grown ass adult in the back seat, but you're in my car, and I don't mind if I'm perfectly happy to let you ride. It sounds like fun to me. But if you're gonna ride in my car, you're gonna put your seatbelt on.
Yep. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that. In other golf news, I don't know if you guys heard too, Phil Mickelson's lost some sponsorships.
What did he say exactly?
I guess there is.
Did he use a racial slur?
No, there are rumors that there is a golf league that is going to take place overseas, and it's going to take some of the PGA Tour players with them.
Okay.
And he mentioned something about how better it would be on the tour. Well, I don't know if he said the wrong thing, but he's lost. He lost a couple sponsorships, including Callaway, who is his club manufacturer.
So, I also saw that one of the tournaments dropped his charity.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder if he said something along the lines of they'll be better without all those foreigners on the tour.
It could be. That might have been something that may have been said. That's
something very, something similar to that. Because I heard about it on Thursday or Friday. It was Thursday because I didn't have I'd run out of minutes on my phone, and I wasn't able to get it back until yesterday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So I was stuck listening to the radio on the drive home,
Okay.
and I was listening to the local ESPN affiliate, and they were talking about, and they wouldn't say exactly what he said, but he apparently had said, so he made some derogatory comments about something or somebody.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's I don't know. I feel that everybody's entitled to their opinion, and
Correct.
even if you don't like it, I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. Okay, say you don't like it, but this whole idea of punishing people for their thoughts, just outside of calling for the restart of slavery or genocide, I kind of don't think that unless you're inciting violence, who cares?
Right.
It's a matter of opinion.
Right.
You know.
I think that's the whole thing. I think as far as if you have an opinion about something and you do, and it's against someone else's beliefs, then it's wrong. You're
we're
wrong.
gonna get to the point where it's not the. And again, I know we're talking way too much politics this week, but it's not the ideas that everyone agrees with that have to be defended. It's
Mm-hmm.
the ones that nobody agrees with that have to be defended. Because if you can only say things that people agree with, then you can never challenge anything. Because if you can only say things that are approved by the masses, then you would never have the ability to challenge things like slavery or oppression or genocide. Because if those were, if you look at if it wasn't for our freedoms and our Constitution and our ability to speak out against the bad things,
Mm-hmm.
and call them out and call out those people for doing the bad things, we would have never been able to do away with slavery.
Right.
We would be no better than the Nazis, who if you had a dissenting opinion on Nazism, you didn't have an opinion.
Correct.
You had a number, and whether you like it or not, even the bad opinions deserve the bad opinions are the opinions that have to be protected, because if you can't challenge the bad opinions, then you can't then you don't then there is without good there's no evil, without evil there's no good, and if you can't challenge the bad opinions, if you can only hold good opinions,
Right.
if you can only hold the status quo, then you can never challenge the wrong opinions.
Mm-hmm. So yep. So obviously
And it's not like, and I'm not saying that what I'm saying, and then I'll kind of clarify and get and succinctly wrap this up, and we can move on to something else. But it's not that I'm defending slavery. What I'm defending is people's right to talk about it. To be, I will be against it, and I will violently oppose you if you attempt to enslave me or anyone else. I will use violence to stop you from imposing that on someone else. But I will not. But I will defend your right to say it, because I want my rights to say what I want to do protected.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. I agree. Let me go ahead and we can talk about college basketball, since we're on the verge of March Madness being around the corner.
Should be next Sunday.
Yeah.
So selection is next Sunday or the Sunday after next?
I think it might be coming up this Sunday, actually.
I don't think, no, because the regular season just wrapped up today.
Yeah, I think they're still playing their conference tournaments as we speak.
Yeah, because the Big Ten's regular season just wrapped up today with a Michigan victory over Ohio State.
Nice.
I know, right? I didn't get to watch the game. I was out doing stuff. I was playing D&D with my friends, but I got home and I saw the headline, saw the final score. I was like, hell yeah!
The big one, guys, in NCAA basketball is Coach Mike Krzyzewski has coached his final regular season.
Coach K is all done
at Duke, leaving a line behind a huge legacy, but not a very good way to go out, as North Carolina beats Duke by 13 points yesterday.
Well, there's only 5 games that matter in the whole NBA and the whole college basketball season. So
it's coming up. Yep.
As much as you want to win that game, if I was a Duke basketball fan, I'd sacrifice that game for a title. every day of the week.
Yeah.
If I'm a Duke basketball fan and I'm sitting there and I'm going, yeah, I'd love to see Coach K go out with a win, but if this is the if I get a national title out of it, I'll take that. Take that all day, every day. Have him go out a winner the ultimate winner.
Well, and I think I saw yesterday. I was watching it yesterday afternoon that they're projected to be a number 2 seed in the tournament. Duke is
right.
So obviously
I'd seen a 1 or 2 depending on what they're doing in the conference tournament.
Yeah. Which there's the thing too is they lost to North Carolina yesterday. But if they beat North Carolina in the conference tournament, it doesn't matter. We beat you.
Right. It all comes out in the wash. And I think they won the first one.
Yes, Duke won the first one. Yeah, Duke won.
Yeah. So all they got to do is just win the. All they got to do is win the conference title, and it all comes out in the wash. It's a moot point.
Duke beat North Carolina handily in the first game, so it wasn't.
I thought it was the first matchup this year. I thought so.
Yeah, it wasn't even a contest. So
this is when I like college basketball. This is the best part. The last week of the regular season and into March Madness, I think it's great. Although I got my ass handed to me last year. man, I was so jazzed up, and I went to that first weekend thinking I got this. I'm feeling real good about it. Feeling real good about my bracket, and Ohio State lost, and it all went to shit. I was like, I'm glad that Ohio State lost, but there goes my bracket.
There goes. Well, I forget which game was it last year, but that once the game was over, it blew up everybody's bracket.
Ohio State.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, they were a 2 seed. Yeah, they lost. I think it was Old Dominion. There was another one. I think there was a 15 that lost too.
Yeah. So
let me look that up real quick. So while I'm looking that up, how are the Bulls looking this year?
USF.
Yeah.
From what I've read, Bud, the transfer portal's been pretty good to them. The spring game is next month, April.
Oh, I'm in basketball. Sorry.
Oh, in men's basketball, they suck.
Yeah. They suck this year.
Oh, yeah, they're horrible.
Oh,
I think they finished the regular season 8-21.
Because didn't they make the tournament last year?
The women's team did. The women's team
make it?
Yeah, and that's who I went and saw on Wednesday night. I went and saw.
How are they looking?
They're good. They're number 2 in the AAC, of course, behind UCF, the only team that USF fans can't stand. We handled Houston pretty well. I think we beat them by almost 40 points. So it was a nice beat down at the Yuengling Center. They'll make the conference. I think they'll be in the Ladies March Madness. The Bulls will be in there making some headlines. Coach Jose Fernandez has been with the program for over 20 years, so I think he's got his dues in. He's got his dues in, but I mean they have to beat UCF because I guess about 3 weeks ago UCF beat them handily, and that's the ladies' side. The men's side, I think the men's team lost today to Temple, and I think they lost by 30 points. They just have not played well all season.
Did they not field a team? Good God.
Well, what happened last year was
I think you could play 3-on-5 and still not get outscored by 30.
Well, what happened last year is Coach Gregory had an assistant coach that used a racial slur that I'm not going to repeat on this show, nor should anyone ever repeat that
right
period. And he had half of his players enter the transfer portal. So basically, the assistant coach cost him his program, and now he's got to build from what he has, or try to recruit people to come to Tampa. So, I mean, as of right now, no. The Gators, as far as the Gators go, that's the same way with them, too. The men's team is not that good. I think they lost to Kentucky yesterday. And then the women's
They were looking good at the beginning of the year, though.
Yeah.
They had a handful of good wins, and
yeah, Mike White is in trouble in Gainesville. I don't know if he survives this.
Is he gonna get handed a pink slip too?
He might get handed the pink slip.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles. They can't all be Coach K.
Well, and then at the end of the day, no offense to them, but Florida's a football school, not a basketball school. I'm
Well, I
sorry.
mean, they won a national title not too long ago. What, 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
They won back-to-back national championships in basketball under Billy
Did they go
Donovan.
back?
Under Billy
Oh
Donovan.
yeah.
We beat Ohio
I forgot.
State. We beat Ohio State, and I forget who we beat in the second one. I know we beat Ohio State in the first one.
I thought you beat Ohio. I didn't know you beat Ohio State in basketball too.
Yep, we did. Yep,
Because I know you beat them in football.
Greg Oden was on that team.
Yeah.
That we beat in that.
I didn't realize Oden made it all the way to the championship game.
Yep. Yeah, Ohio State got to the finals. We played them in. I think the Gators beat Georgia Mason in the Final Four. Mason was the Cinderella story up till that point, and then the Gators beat them and moved on and beat Ohio State to win the national. We went back to back. I think we went back to back national championships in basketball. Yeah.
At that time when I was watching college basketball, it was because I just wanted to watch sports. It wasn't because I liked basketball.
Right.
Like I didn't care about basketball. I couldn't give a shit who won it unless Michigan was playing. So then I rooted for Michigan. But I liked sports, so I wanted to watch sports, and basketball was what was on in the mid 2000s. But for the first time that I really actually cared about the college basketball tournament was 2011 when Virginia Commonwealth, VCU.
Yep.
When they were Cinderella, that was such a fun team to watch.
Well, I mean, if you think back, Gonzaga used to be the Cinderella. Now they're the overall seed.
I know.
Now they're the number one overall
seed in Washington, right?
Yep. No, Gonzaga, I think, is out of Vegas, right? I think they're out of Nevada.
I could be wrong. Out of Washington.
Could be. You might want to look that up, but I'm not 100%.
I'm going to look that up right now because it's going to drive me crazy.
I'm not 100%. I mean, I can ask my Google Home if you want. If you want to do that.
Yep. They are in Spokane.
Oh, they are from Washington. Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were Washington.
Washington State.
Yeah, I don't get to watch. I don't get to watch a lot of their games. And I'm not crazy about college basketball during the regular season, so I don't watch a lot of regular season college basketball outside of Michigan. And if Michigan's playing, also I have a hard time with basketball because I hate being scored on, and you get scored on a lot in college basketball.
Yeah.
In football or hockey, I can turn the channel until they're done showing all the replays, and then I go back.
Right.
Or in baseball, but in basketball, if you turn the channel you're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
So I don't really. That's one of the reasons I hate being I can watch other teams play and have a lot of fun if I have no rooting interest, but to watch my team play basketball, I can't. I hate it because it makes me feel so sick. Because I hate being scored on. Maybe I'm an asshole. I am your least humble host, but I hate watching my team get scored on, and my team's gotten scored on a lot this year. So
yeah,
Michigan basketball has been incredibly frustrating all year.
Do you want to talk, Bud, about the NBA or anything like that?
Yeah, I did kind of want to jump into the NBA a little bit. Did you see LeBron drop 57 or 56 last night?
I did not, but I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that when I was in the bathroom getting ready and getting ready for the show, and I had seen that come across my feed.
That was against the Warriors then, right?
Yeah, it was against. Yeah, they had a rough night. They had a rough go of it last night. I wasn't home last night. I went and saw Batman.
I'm gonna go see that tomorrow. Tomorrow. So don't give it away because I'm gonna go see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right now there's only one
game. The Jedi dies, so
is live. And that is the Suns and Bucks. The Suns are up 61-54. The game is on ABC.
I see that. Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah. Go ahead, bud.
I just don't care about pro basketball until the playoffs. I love March. I love Christmas and the playoffs. Like Christmas Day because you have all these great matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and again, it was a lot of fun the other week when we were hanging out doing the show, and me and Lou were both watching the Knicks play.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. But in terms of generally just watching basketball, I generally just don't watch basketball.
I hardly ever watch the NBA unless, like you said, it's during the playoffs, or if I happen to be tuning into ESPN to wait for a highlight to be looked at or talked about, and I have to watch a couple NBA highlights to get to that. Then I'll wait through the highlights and get to that. But here, here are the standings for everyone out there. The top 10 teams get into the playoffs. So here's as
So
follows.
they have a playing game again.
I think they will.
That was kind of fun. I liked that last year. It's kind
So
of fun.
right now, the Miami Heat are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
I thought they would be.
They're 3 up on Philadelphia, then Milwaukee, Chicago, Boston, Cleveland, Toronto, Charlotte, and then Brooklyn and Atlanta round out the top 10 in that.
I thought Atlanta was going to be much better, and I thought Cleveland was going to be garbage.
The Hawks only have a 2.5 game lead on the Wizards right now for that 10th spot, so it's tight between
It's
10.
very tight. What's Can you give me 6 through 10? What's the spread there?
6 through 10, but right now Cleveland is 2 games up on Toronto. The Charlotte is 3 games behind Toronto, and so Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Atlanta are all 3 games behind Toronto in that 7th spot. So 8, 9, and 10 are all the same record. Well, not the same record, but
the same games behind.
The Hornets are 32 and 33. The Nets are 32 and 33, and the Hawks are 31 and 32. So that's their respective records. Yep.
So it looks like 7 games between 8 and 6. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, Cleveland's got 6. They're 6 games out of first, so they have a 5-game lead on the Hornets, Nets, and Hawks overall.
Okay,
so that's how you can look at it like that. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanting to know. Yep. So it looks like Cleveland will be 6, and then kind of look like we're looking for 7 through 10 right now.
Correct. Yeah, the 7 through 10 would be, of course, that would be Toronto, Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Atlanta. So that would be who would be that. And then
where are the Knicks?
The Knicks are in 12. They are 4.5 games back of Washington and 6 games behind Atlanta for number 10.
So they're 6 games out.
6 games out of the playoff spot. They're on a 7-game losing streak.
That'll do it.
In their last 10. So that's
1-9.
1-9 in their last 10 games. Correct.
And they're on a set. So they were 1-2 going on before they went on this streak.
Yep. Correct.
You can't. It's way too late in the season to have a 7-game losing streak.
And then you have Indiana at 13, Detroit at 14, and the Magic are at 15. So right now, the Orlando Magic are the worst team in the Eastern
East.
Yep.
At least.
Yep. And flipping to the West, it is Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, Utah, Dallas, Denver are your top 6. 7 through 10 are Minnesota, the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Pelicans are the top 10 teams. Down below that, you have Portland, San Antonio, Sacramento, Oklahoma City, and Houston are the bottom.
Is Houston or Orlando the worst team overall?
Let me see. Right now, it would be the Houston Rockets. They're 15 and 48. The Magic are 16 and 49. So it kind of evens itself out.
Yeah, it does because they have Houston has or Orlando has one more win, but also
right.
one more loss. So
yeah, let me see if we go by division. You go by the divisions within basketball,
within the conferences.
Yeah, right now the Atlantic Division, Philadelphia is it's Philly. Boston's only a game and a half out of the division lead. Then it's Toronto, Brooklyn. The Knicks are dead last in the Atlantic. In the Central, it's Milwaukee and Chicago tied atop.
Okay.
Then it goes Cleveland's only 2.5 back. Then it drops drastically. The Pacers are 17.5 games back. The Pistons are 22 games back of first place. And then the Southeast Division, Miami's up 11 games over both the Hornets and the Hawks, 13.5 games up on Washington, and 27 games up on the Magic there. And then the Northwest Division, Utah is up by 2.5 games over Denver, 4.5 games over the Timberwolves. Then they're up 14.5 over Portland and 19.5 over Oklahoma City. The Pacific Division, The Suns have an 8.5 game lead on Golden State. Well, that's a lot of games
Wow.
in the division. They're 18 up on the Clippers, 23 up on the Lakers, and 28.5 games up on the Kings. And then
So are the Suns the best team in the league right now?
I believe so. I was gonna say I think
so. They'll get knocked out in the first round, won't they?
Phoenix is and that's surprising too because Chris Paul is hurt or he's been hurt.
Right.
Yeah. So
he just got hurt the other day.
Okay. Because they've been playing without him. As far as I know, they've been playing without him. So
I didn't hear how long he was going to be out for, though.
So they're just that good of a team that they can play without him. Let's talk the National Football League, and we can do hockey and baseball. I'll tell you about my experience in Tennessee.
I was going to ask you about that. I wanted to give you some time to just.
The NFL has announced the 2022 international games. The first game in Germany will be played this year coming up, unless something happens before the season starts, international conflict and everything else that's going on around the world. But it looks like, let's see here. The Arizona Cardinals will play in Mexico, while the Packers, Saints, and Jaguars will play in London. Also, for the first time, the NFL will play a game in Munich. That game will feature the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, this is the first piece of the international puzzle. The league said in a statement as the opponents for these games, along with the dates and kickoff times, will be confirmed as the full 2022 schedule release later this offseason. If I'm not mistaken, I think the new calendar year starts next week.
A couple of days, yeah. I think it's November 10th or
something like March 10th. Yeah, the new season starts. So now we will get franchise tags handed out and who's coming back and free agency will start. The NFL Combine is going on. Have you seen some of those 40 times for those big guys?
It's insane.
Nikes, man. These kids are 200 plus pounds.
300 pounds, man.
They're running 4 2s and 4 1s at 200 pounds. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane how quick and fast these kids are.
You got guys 300, 250 plus running 4.7, 4.6. Really fucking hauling ass.
Yeah. And guys, if you don't know what that is, every year at the Combine they run a 40-yard run. Basically 40-yard dash. I don't think I could even clear 6 seconds if I'm lucky. I might be
I don't think I could clear 3 days. So give me a week and a half, I might get 40 yards.
To get trained up to get in shape for that.
No, I just meant in general. Give me a week and a half, I can get you 40 yards. But other than that, no, I mean, but the only thing like I was talking about on Facebook the other day was the only thing I don't like. I'd rather give speed kills, but I'd rather have a guy that was slow and could catch and run routes, because being the first thing that's gonna go is speed.
Right.
When you hit that wall and now you're old, the first thing that's gonna go is speed.
Right.
So like Chris Olave, he ran a 4.26, 40, which is incredibly fast, but it's in street clothes. I mean, it's in gym clothes. He's not running it in pads. And let's say pads add a tenth of a second, or 0.5 of a second even. If he can't get out of, it's gonna even out. So just being fast doesn't mean that you're good,
right?
Because it's gonna balance out. And so that half a step that he had in at the Combine doesn't matter. He's gonna end up, he's gonna be ending up. Everybody's gonna end up on a very level playing field at the end of the day. And so what I want to know is his break, his first step. What kind of moves does he have off the line? Is he gonna be able to stutter step a corner?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna have to try and fly by him every single time?
Right.
So because if he's gonna have to try and fly by every single time, I'll give him 8 yards of cushion, and then come up and make a stop.
Right.
Because if he's going to try and run, if he doesn't have a good first step, if he doesn't run good routes,
yeah, then that speed is taken away. Right, correct.
and then I just play inside technique and force him to go along the sideline, and use the sideline as an extra defender.
Right.
You know,
Well, also
and
too.
this is
Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say that's what I hate about that's what I hate about the combine, is because the combine doesn't show you what you're not running against NFL. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'll say it until I'm blue in my face. In college football, you play against one 5-star athlete every week, maybe two. Even your Alabamas and your Georgias, they have 2 5-star recruits.
Right.
When you get to the NFL, everyone is a 5-star recruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone has NFL level talent. And so when you have, that's better. I don't feel like I'm sitting in the dark now.
Yeah, speed is faster, stronger athletes in the NFL compared to college football. So,
everyone's a 5-star athlete.
right.
Everyone is an NFL talent. Everyone is 6 foot. And if they're not 6 foot, they're able to make up for what they lack in size with just ability.
Right.
And technique and skill.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just relying on your natural ability, you can get away with a lot relying on natural ability in college.
Right.
You can cover out your natural ability. You can just be better than everybody in college.
Right.
But when it comes to the NFL, you have to put in work. And this goes back to what we were talking about a couple weeks ago at the end of the season when Urban Meyers finally made some comments to talk about how how he felt like people didn't care about losing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the NFL is a business.
Right.
It's the business of pro football.
Mm-hmm.
Pro football is a business. College football is a different business.
Right.
You don't get to schedule Villanova, Wake Forest, and Idaho State 3 weeks a year in the NFL.
Right.
And if you don't watch your ass, somebody's gonna jump up there. Every one of those guys is a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And being a professional means you put in work.
Correct.
And when you get to the level of the NFL, it's a job. It's not something you do for fun. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it might be fun to do, but it's not something you do for fun.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a great gig, man. You go make 10 or 15, $million a year.
Yep.
Playing NFL football. And being an average guy. An average NFL guy, which an average NFL guy is a CEO or a board member or a trustee at a Fortune 500 company. They're not, these are not, your average NFL guy. If they applied themselves in any other business at the level that they apply themselves at the NFL, in the NFL, are top guys in any company.
Right.
Doing anything in any other field. They may not be the best guy in, you might not, let's say they were a heart surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be the best, the average NFL guy may not be the best heart surgeon around, but he's going to be the heart surgeon I pick because I know what he puts in, I know the work, if you tell me this guy is an average NFL player, I know the amount of work and dedication it takes to be an average NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell me, hey, he's retired from the NFL and now he's a brain surgeon, a heart surgeon, a financial advisor. Yeah, I know what kind of work ethic he has. I know what kind of effort he's going to put into making sure my heart works, making sure my brain works, and making sure my wallet is healthy.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about when I talk about, and I know, the best guys in the NFL are the guys that don't get too high and don't get too low.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, too, if anyone out there, the NFL has suspended their COVID 19 protocols. The NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to suspend those. So they are the first league to suspend COVID protocols now within the organization. So
League-wide.
that is,
Good news?
I would say good news. I mean, obviously we're not, the draft is next month.
Right.
And we're months away from the season starting back up.
It's better news than it was a year ago at this time, where they were like,
That is correct.
Where a year ago at this time we weren't sure if we were even going to have a season and what that season was going to look like.
Correct.
Now we're to the point where we're not doing COVID testing. You being in Florida, you haven't had to wear a mask since day one, so. Like it was advised, but they weren't gonna make you wear one because.
Right.
But here in Tennessee, we finally got to take our masks off a couple weeks ago, so that's been fun. It's been nice to get back to normal-ish.
Like I said, the only time that I wore a mask but in Tennessee is when I had to take an Uber ride. Any kind of Uber rides, I had to wear one. Other than that, I didn't have to wear one. But again, I didn't go. We only went out one time while we were there, as far as dinner-wise goes.
I'm glad you didn't come down.
Because by the time that we got here, I'm going to change this up.
Let's talk about that.
We got down to walking and all that stuff. We were just dog tired by the end of the day, and we decided that we were going to stay in. I think the first time we got there, we go to Chinese Inn. The last day we were there, we had to get up early in the morning to fly from Nashville to St. Louis, so further west to come back east. How that is, but that's the way that the airlines lined up and stuff like that. But yes, if you're wondering, I did attend the Stadium Series game in Nashville. How
was it?
It was good. This is the program that they didn't hand out. I paid for this, but
right.
But they had.
It was available. How much was a program?
I think it was $10. I think is what I paid for it. I got a puck too. I have two of them. I have one that came from here, and then one that I got when I was there. But it was a lot of fun. It was cold.
How was the view?
Not bad.
Okay. Rank it, rated compared to Amalie Arena. Would you rather watch a game at
a scale of 1 to 10? The two of them. Amalie, depending on where you sit. I mean, there's some bad seats in Amalie Arena. Not a lot of bad seats, but there are bad ones there.
Right. On the average ticket that you can get at Amalie, how much would you say what you bought was an average ticket for the Stadium Series? I mean, we compare that to
$120 for the ticket. So that's what the ticket was to sit up in the third level. Oh, I'm sorry. That was with the with the fees. The ticket alone was only $70 with the fees and everything else on top that Ticketmaster and all their,
right shenanigans
charge. It ended up being that way. But I mean, I would have to say out of a 1 to 10 scale, I'd say a 7. And the only reason why is you have to remember you're not in an inside stadium. You are outside. You're in a football stadium. You're not in a hockey arena. I would say a 7 or an 8, even though we were up in the nosebleed section or what they call it.
So definitely a good time.
Yes. I mean,
it's not like it was if you're weighting it against a game at Amalie Arena.
I would give it 8 out of 10.
If you're spending $120 for a ticket at Amalie after taxes and fees and all that versus $120 for a ticket at
Nissan Stadium.
At Nissan Stadium for
I think it equals itself out. It equals itself out.
It's worth it, and it's a good experience.
It was a great experience. I mean, again, it was nice to have 23,000 Lightning fans there with you. So that's cool. Good thing about it.
So and Amalie can hold what 20, 22 on an average game.
Amalie, I think 20. I think it's 25. I think is on
25. Okay.
And normally it's sold out. I mean, it's very, very hard to get a ticket. So,
I can imagine.
10 years ago, it was very easy to get a ticket.
And I'm sure it's the same way. I'm sure it's the same way in Detroit. It's very easy to get. 10 years ago, you better be on your way. You better get your ticket now for a game 3 years from now.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas now, if you get you can get a ticket for yesterday's game.
Yeah.
Today. So. Yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain. I'm glad you didn't come down here.
Well, no, I mean, I'll be honest with you, bud. We looked at rental cars, and the cheapest car I could get is like $100, and I'm like, I don't really want to rent a car for 4 hours, 2 hours there, 2 hours back for $100
and then not have any money to.
Yeah,
I got sick Thursday night.
Okay.
I started feeling like hell Thursday night. I was glad we didn't have a show, and then Friday I was waiting for you to text me and tell me you were on the way. I was like, oh, thank God you never messaged me.
Actually,
because I was broke as hell. My tax money never came in, so I didn't have any money to spend. And then if you had to spend all your money on a rental car, then there's nothing we can do. So,
and then like I said, but I mean, I think Friday we ended up going into the city. That was the day
cool.
that we went. We took the hotel had a shuttle that picked us up,
right,
and drove.
We'll have to actually plan to go do something somewhere sometime.
Yeah. We went to downtown Nashville.
I might
drop us off in front of the Country Music Hall of Fame on
cool.
Broadway. And then
how much was it to get in the Country Music Hall of Fame?
It was 27. I didn't go in. It was $27 for the tour.
I thought you went in.
No, I was on the picture for Lightning Bug was on the outside. There's a store downstairs. My sister wanted one of my best female friend had earrings that my sister liked, and when I was there, I picked her up a set too because that's where I had to go to pick them up. We're right across the way from Bridgestone Arena. We walked to their pro shop, and I was with you've seen my roommate, and I looked at her, I said, "Man," I said, "we're in enemy territory now. You see yellow jerseys and blue, and people are in National Predator gear, and you're like, yeah, we are in enemy territory." Yeah.
Did you wear your Lightning gear to the game?
Absolutely.
How was How was the reception in Nashville?
Not really all that bad.
Have you ever gone to an? Have you ever been to an NHL away game? Any other Lightning away games?
The worst I've ever been in is New Jersey. That's the worst I've ever been in.
Really?
I've been to New Jersey for an away game, and I've been to Florida, obviously Sunrise, many times. Those are the only two cities now. Nashville was added to that list, but it's interesting when you're the road team when you score a goal and there's no like alarm going off or no one's cheering because you're the road team, you're not the home team.
Right. You're the only one cheering.
Yeah, I mean Nashville wasn't too bad. I mean there were so many Lightning fans around anyway. I mean,
it kind of felt like a home game away.
It kind of felt like, I mean, that's what we kind of said, that there were so many of us wearing blue, wearing navy blue and white, and or royal blue and white, and then
right.
But I mean, I don't remember one Nashville Predator fan saying anything to me. I think
anything nasty.
No,
that's the experience that I want as an That's why I don't want to really go to a game as an away fan.
Yeah.
Like I don't need it. I don't need that nonsense.
Right.
I've been.
Yeah,
I've been to.
I will say that.
I've been. I've never been to an away game of my team. I've always gone to home games.
Right.
Just because that's just the way it worked. Everything was 4 hours. Detroit was 4 hours away. So if I wanted to go to a Wings game, Tigers game, Lions game, Pistons game, whatever, I was gonna. It was only 4 hours away. So I didn't live in a in an anonymous city, and I didn't even get that much smoke from Michigan State fans. Even as a Michigan fan, I've gotten a lot more hate from SEC fans for being a Michigan fan than I ever did from State fans. Just your random, I root for Georgia or Tennessee, and they talk shit. I'm like, that's nice, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, the few times I passed by, Predator fans, it was a lot of mutual thing, like, good
like
luck.
good luck, good luck.
Yeah.
There wasn't the. I don't know if maybe y'all were playing each other in the cup final. I don't know how much animosity.
Right. No, I think it'd be
I
a
just
different
think
story.
and for me, like as a
Yeah.
just wanting to have a good time. Yeah, I am 1,500 miles from home.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say give or take?
Probably, I would say give or take. Yeah.
1,500 miles away from home. I don't need to get in a fist fight, end up in jail in Nashville.
Yeah.
I just want to come in and see the game and go home.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to meet Ralph Garcia, who is my editor on the website that I write for. He lives in Clarkston, Tennessee.
Okay.
Not about a half hour away from Nashville, and he drove us around the city. And I mean, I went
that's cool.
to parts of Nashville that I didn't even know existed. We went by Vanderbilt University, which was kind of cool to see Vandy on the outskirts of Vanderbilt. We went past.
It's a great hospital too.
Yeah, Tennessee State University, which is the black school or the African American school there.
Historic black college.
Yep. If you guys do not know, Eddie George is their head football coach.
I know that.
At Tennessee State, so he is there. But I would definitely, as an SEC fan, like to go to a game in Vandy, in Vanderbilt Stadium. The Commodores play there, and stuff like that. So that was
they're in Murfreesboro.
But yeah, I mean, the city is very, very nice. If you're into live music and bar hopping and eating, Nashville is definitely a city to go and visit, because all three.
I have not visited Nashville. I've driven through it twice.
Yeah.
Nashville is a scary city to drive through at night.
I would imagine.
It was not fun. And this cracker rolled his windows up and locked his doors and just kept on going.
No, I mean, like I said, like I said, we drove through what they call the ghetto of Nashville. I mean, Ralph took us through the ghetto and all that. Not to stay here. He goes, don't drive through here at night. It's not safe. So maybe you drove through that particular part of Nashville at that time. But yeah. Yep.
I just did what my GPS told me. I was like, click.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, they're in Middletown. Yeah, they're only 2.5 hours from me. But no, when the first time I ever drove through Nashville, I didn't know anything about the AT&T building.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
so I was coming through there, and it looked like the Tower of Barad-dûr from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the AT&T building, I think, is the tallest building in downtown.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, in downtown Nashville. Of course, they have a Truist building, which Truist is our competitor from my bank, so I'm not going to go there and slander someone's bank name, but I'm not going to say anything negative about that. But I will say that I did have the best beef brisket sandwich I've ever had in my life in Nashville. So,
oh yeah, where'd you go?
The restaurant was called Smoky Willie's. Just about. I was in the Opry area of Nashville. I did not do the tour of the Grand Ole Opry. That'll be something that I will do when I go back.
Yeah, we'll have to go together one of these days.
I didn't get an opportunity to go do that. But it was cool. Again, some of the first that I did see snow, by the way, in case you're wondering. I did see snow.
I did see your post on that.
It wasn't heavy snow, but it was light enough to see it. So I did see snow. I got to my first Bass Pro Shop. I've never been to Bass Pro Shop before, so that's my first time.
We'll have to go to Memphis one of these days.
That's the next city that I was talked about when I was in Tennessee. As long as I don't have to go to Knoxville, I'm okay. As long as I got to go to Knoxville, I'm okay.
Well, we'll have to go to Memphis together. I'll take you to Central Barbecue. And,
well, the good barbecue in Memphis. That's where they say it's at, right?
Oh, God. Central Barbecue is the best barbecue I've ever had. outside of homemade, the best restaurant barbecue I've ever had.
But yeah, my experience in Nashville was good.
And then I'll take you to the Bass Pro Shops in Memphis. So it was the Bass Pro Shops in Memphis is the Pyramid, where the Grizzlies used to play.
Okay. Oh, at Auburn Hills, at the Palace, right?
No,
Or
Memphis.
Oh, Tennessee.
Memphis. Yes, keep up. No, the Grizzlies used to play in the Pyramid in the Bass Pro.
I thought you said the Pistons. My bad, dude.
No.
Okay.
Memphis. The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies used to play in the Pyramid. And then it wasn't great, so they ended up moving to where they are now.
Okay.
Like 10 blocks away. And then the Bass Pro people bought it, and they were going to open up this great big, huge thing, and then it didn't go anywhere. And then finally in 2011, they were able to get it off the ground, and then they put it's a Bass Pro Shops on steroids. So I mean, like, it was impressive for like an hour, and then it was like once you get done seeing everything that they're, all the different stuff that you like you normally wouldn't see, like the fish and the mounts,
right?
And after that, it's just a Bass Pro Shops. I'm like, okay, there's guns and fishing gear. Whoop-de-doo. It's a Bass Pro Shops, and it's all.
That's what it basically is: camping gear, fishing, and guns. That's basically what it is. What it's all saying.
Whoop-de-doo day. It's nothing to write home about after that. It's like once the excitement of it being of the newness and getting in there and going all the way up to the top of the observation deck and seeing the Mississippi River running under the bridges there. Yeah, that's cool. But once you've done that and you're like, okay, let's go check out the shops, you're like, oh, this is just a Bass Pro Shops on steroids. Okay, cool. I can go and buy cheaper guns and ammo anywhere else. I mean, and then you're gonna pay the markup that, if you're gonna buy if you buy a tent from Bass Pro, you're gonna pay Bass Pro prices where you go to Dunham's or your local sporting goods store and pay a third of the price.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah, if you pay $200 for it at Bass Pro in Memphis, you can go down the street to your local camping store, your Academies or your Dunham's, and pay $120 for the same exact thing.
Yep. No.
So
yeah,
save your money. Have fun, save your money, and go somewhere else. It's a cool experience, and if you're in Memphis, if you're going to Memphis for any other, don't go for the Pyramid because there's no reason to go for the Pyramid. But if you're going to be in Memphis, I recommend going to the Pyramid. It takes you about an hour to get through everything, and then once you're done with everything, you go and you see this stuff. You go and you look at all.
Go have some barbecue food.
Yeah, go have some barbecue, definitely. Because you're not don't buy anything. Don't buy anything there. You can get cheaper. There's literally nothing there that you can't get anywhere else for a lot cheaper outside of the Bass Pro gear, and that gear isn't.
I mean, again, Nashville was great. It was it's a nice city. Definitely.
It's always looked pretty, but
yeah, it'll be a city that I'll definitely go back to and make another trip to it.
I actually need to go to Nashville and experience Nashville. I've never been to Nashville. I've always driven through it. So,
well, hey, how about you come down for a Red Wings Predators game? You can dress in your Red Wings gear.
Yeah, there we go. I'd rather go to. If I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna fly to Tampa.
Okay, you can do that. We'll probably harass you a lot more than they will, but just to let you know that. So I know.
I'll go with you. So I'll go with you.
The rivalry, but I mean, it's good. Obviously, if you guys do not know, they already announced the next year's outdoor game will be in Raleigh.
Okay, cool.
Carolina will be
hosting. Playing?
The Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals are going to be the two teams.
That would be fun.
To see. Now that leaves 4 teams yet to have been in an outdoor game. The Florida Panthers are one of them. Obviously, the Vegas Knights and the Kraken. And I don't remember who the other team is that has never been in an outdoor game. I think there was only because the Lightning were one of the 5, and now that remains. I'm sorry, with Carolina playing, then that would be the final 3. So the final 3 teams that are left that have never played in a game is the Florida Panthers, the Seattle Kraken, and the Vegas Golden Knights. And I wouldn't be shocked if someday down the road they don't play an outdoor game in Seattle and have the Knights play against the Kraken.
That's probably 2024.
Could possibly be that way. Yeah, I mean
they might have them play a game in Vancouver.
I honestly would like to see Florida play Tampa Bay in an outdoor game, but you can't have it in Florida. It doesn't stay cold here long enough. So not in Miami either. Miami, it's warmer than it is in my area in Tampa.
You could do it.
Panhandle, you could do it.
The problem is Pensacola doesn't have the infrastructure for it.
Correct. You might be able to do it in Tallahassee at Doak Campbell Stadium, maybe, if it gets cold enough in Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
So that's the only.
You would have to do it in December. It would have to be in December.
December or January. It would have to be one of the 2 months, because once it gets to February, it's 88 degrees here in Florida today.
It's like February. 77 here.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So there you go.
Unless you did it somewhere else.
Yeah, unless it was played in Georgia. I mean, you could put it in Atlanta, maybe.
Atlanta doesn't get cold enough. Not long enough.
Yeah, I mean, or South Carolina, maybe. I don't know if you want to go that far, but.
Well, where do you do it in South Carolina? I mean, I'm trying to think.
You'd have to do it at one of the college stadiums. You'd have to do it at either Clemson or in
South Carolina.
Where's Columbia?
Yeah.
Carolina is where the University of South Carolina.
But it doesn't feel like it would be a draw for either of those cities. No. Unfortunately, you know.
You have to do it somewhere in Florida or in Georgia for it to be a draw, because you can't.
Right.
Because
Nashville you might be able to get away with it in Nashville.
It's a possibility, but I think that would piss off the people in Nashville not to have their own home team.
Not to get the Predators. Yeah.
Correct. Because Nashville's played in the last 2 outdoor games, because, again, there wasn't one in 2020 because of the pandemic.
Right.
2021, they were in the outdoor game, and then they hosted this year's game at home.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it would have to be in a southern state. If it wasn't in Pensacola, Apalachicola, they'd have to put a stadium together in that.
Right, a temp stadium. But I think that would be more hassle than it's worth.
And then you're talking a good 5 to 6 hour drive from Tampa, and probably a 9 to 10 hour drive from Sunrise to get to Appalachia.
Right.
That's a hell of a long way to go.
It's a long way.
And then come all the way back. Because, again, I went through that for the Gator game last year. Driving for 2.5 hours for a game that lasted 3 hours. And then traffic going back home was 4 hours because all those people had to go somewhere. 88,000 people had to leave the stadium. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just can't think of anywhere you could do that game that makes any sense.
Well, Florida will be in there. It'll just be against somebody else. They may play against the Bruins or the Rangers or, Detroit maybe. Maybe they play against the Red Wings in Detroit somewhere.
I really think they should play Carolina.
Well, see, that's what I thought Bud was going to happen. It was going to be Carolina against Florida in next year.
I think that makes more sense than Carolina Washington.
Yeah. Well, Carolina Washington's a division game. So that makes sense.
Right, but Carolina Florida should be a division game too, right?
No, Carolina's in the Metro division. They're in the Metro.
Is Florida in the Atlantic?
Yes.
I thought they were both in the Metro.
Yeah, okay. Florida's in the division with Boston, Buffalo, Detroit. Boston, Buffalo, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Florida. Who are the other? I think there's Montreal, Ottawa. No, that can't be right. No, that is right. It has to be right.
It's not Ottawa because we don't play Ottawa.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's look here.
We don't play Montreal very often either. That I remember.
Let's do.
Toronto's still in the West. No, Toronto's in the East.
Toronto's in the East. Toronto's in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it's Toronto. Toronto's another team that's in the.
Okay, so here's the Metropolitan. It's Carolina, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, the Capitals, the Blue Jackets, the Islanders, the Devils, and the Flyers. The Atlantic division is Florida, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, and Montreal. So that's the Atlantic division, right, as we speak. So that's why I would have thought Florida and Carolina would have played against each other, and it would have been, two teams in one that weren't in the outdoor.
Yeah, I would. That's the matchup that I would have gone with.
Yeah. So
unless you have them play, unless you have Florida and Tampa playing somewhere else, across overseas.
Yeah. I mean, you could have that way too. Let me give you guys the overall standings as far as let's go here. Hang on a minute. Let's see if this. So right now, as far as that's the conference. I don't want that. Here, let's do this. So this is how the divisions would break out for as far as the wild card teams. Right now in the Metro, the top three teams are the Hurricanes, the Pens, and the Rangers. In the Atlantic, it's the Panthers, Lightning, and the Maple Leafs. The wild card right now in the Eastern Conference is the 7th spot is Boston, and the 8th spot is Washington. The Blue Jackets are 10 points behind Washington, and the Red Wings are 15 points behind Washington for that final spot. That's how it would break down right now with the East. Basically, if you want to say it, the Eastern Conference is basically locked up. I don't think anything's really going to change with those 8 teams in there. The West have Colorado, St. Louis, and Minnesota from the Central. From the Pacific, you have Calgary, the Kings, and the Knights are in the Pacific. The two wild card now. The wild card in the West is much different. Nashville holds the spot by 1 point over Dallas.
Okay.
Edmonton Oilers are only 1 point behind Dallas, 2 points behind Nashville. The Vancouver Canucks are only 3 points behind Dallas and 4 points behind Nashville. And the Anaheim Ducks are only 4 points behind Dallas and 5 points behind Nashville. So that is still within.
Very much in doubt.
And Winnipeg is only 8 points behind Nashville and 7 points behind Dallas. So that's still that's doable. When you're only not points away from being behind somebody, it can happen.
Yeah, somebody can fall apart in the last 2 weeks. Not a problem. But God, mother, it's not working anymore. Ugh. Good enough.
But so right now, the best team in the National Hockey League is Carolina.
Really?
81 points. They've played 55 games. They're 38, 12, and 5, and their goal differential is a plus 56. Number 2, only 2 points behind them, is the Florida Panthers. They're 37, 13, and 5. Their goal differential is a plus 64. They've been.
I'd rather see that number be lower.
Scoring goals in bunches.
That means to me having I'd rather be closer to 20 or 25.
Right.
Because I'm looking at it going, we're not getting timely scoring.
Yeah.
We're winning 8-1, or we're losing 4-1.
Right.
We're not getting time. We're not winning 3-2. We're not winning 3-4.
Right.
We're losing those games. So we're winning 7-1 and losing 2-1.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bode well for your playoff chances.
And then
what's the Lightning's differential?
Plus 34.
That's more like where I'd like to be at. Plus 34. That means I'm when I do score, they're important goals.
Yeah, they're only 3 points behind Carolina. 36, 12, and 6 are the Lightning currently.
I think the Lightning are going 3 for 3.
That seems to be the tipping point from what I've heard. Here's the difference between this. The Panthers have a plus 64 goal differential. The Montreal Canadiens have a -75 goal differential.
So when Montreal is losing, they're losing big.
Big, correct.
And I think that's
and the funny thing is, but how about this? Colorado's goal differential is a +63. So they're only one goal behind Florida. So
and that to me doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
Because to me that sounds like you're losing a lot of a big wiggle out of the 5. You're losing a lot of tight games. So when you are scoring, you're blowing people out. But if you don't score, you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get into the playoffs, I don't know, we're only 55 games into the season, so we still have some 25 games to go.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're starting to get into crunch time, we got about a month and a half left. And when I'm looking into the future and I'm gazing into my crystal ball, and I want to be somewhere in that 25 to 30 range, where I'm getting timely scoring, where when we get scored on, we score back.
Right. Well, and again, too, I mean, we all know, we know that it's a different style of hockey in the playoffs. I mean, if you don't score goals, then you're out. I mean, that's just how quick things can change, and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to, it all comes down to that. And it's,
And looking at last year's stats, Vegas was +68.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado was +65.
Mm-hmm.
Your Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning were 35.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can scroll back any more years. I'm gonna go back to 2019 because 2020 doesn't really. Actually, I'm gonna go to 2018. No, I'll go 2019. Although, did y'all win in 2019?
2020, we won in the bubble.
So, who won in 2019?
2019 was the St. Louis Blues.
And the St. Louis Blues were +24.
When they won the Stanley Cup. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, obviously you don't have to have a high goal differential to win
and that's one. Yeah, they beat Boston.
Yep, they did. They beat them in 7 games, I believe. I think it was all 7 games that they took them to 7. Took Boston to 7.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because Pat Maroon was on that team and he's won the last 3 Stanley Cups in a row.
Right.
He's been on the last 3 teams the last 3 seasons. So,
and that's what I'm looking at is you're looking at even though Tampa Bay scored 90, had a goal differential +98, they still didn't win the cup.
No, I think that was the year that we got knocked out of the playoffs by Columbus.
I believe that was the year that y'all lost to the
Blue Jackets in 4 games. Yep.
Nashville. Who won in 2018? I don't remember off the top of my head now.
2018 Stanley Cup. Was it the Kings?
It was the Golden Knights versus somebody.
Capitals. The Washington Capitals.
That's right. And the Caps were a +18.
There you go. So it doesn't have to be
I think what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing is the trending over the last 5-6 years, and I'm not counting 2021, or not counting 2020, that wonky season where it doesn't, where everything was kind of all screwy because of COVID. I'm seeing teams that are not scoring a lot. I'm seeing teams that are. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing level scoring. 18, 35, 30, 31. No, it's not the teams that are scoring way more than their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing scoring that's very equal. So, like, if you get a goal, I get a goal. You get a goal, I get a goal. You get a goal, I get a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm seeing. And I'm thinking that's why I'm looking at Tampa Bay. You said they were, what, 34 this year? 35?
34. They
34?
are currently a +34.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Tampa Bay is going to win it all again.
Right. All right. Should we address the elephant in the room? That's been the elephant in the room.
That's been the elephant.
That's been the elephant in the room for a while.
And what did I see when I saw this? I saved this meme earlier the other day.
Here,
And
this game, bud, just off of just a few seconds ago.
Hot off the presses. What do we got?
Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association are at an impasse in negotiations over the collective bargaining agreement. We're hoping to see movement in our direction to give us an additional flexibility to get a deal done quickly. According to James Wagner of the New York Times, it says that it looks like they went backwards again. The Players Association chose to come back to us with a proposal that was worse than Monday night and not designed to move the process forward. On some issues, they even went backwards. Simply put, we're at deadlock. We're trying to figure out how to respond, but nothing in the proposal makes it easy. The union tabled an exhausted offer to the owners on Sunday. MLB reported pushing to introduce a 14-second pitch clock with a 19-second clock used with runners on base. These are some of the things that they're talking about right now. But I didn't really appreciate the fact that Rob Manfred gets up there. I saw that, bud. Thank you, man. I got your message there. I saw that the other day myself.
Yeah, I didn't know if I didn't. I just.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I don't know if it'd be easier for you to share it or not.
Let me see. How would I do that? Hang on a second. I can send. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Let me.
We kind of talk about that. While you're doing that, I'll lay my thoughts out. Rob Manfred is an asshole. Straight up.
Thank you.
And he. I don't know if you saw the Kalamazoo. I forget what the Kalamazoo something or others. I forget. Growlers.
Was that one of their minor league teams?
I think they're an independent.
Independent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're a college team.
Oh, okay.
Rob Manfred banned by a pair of collegiate summer league teams for his crimes against baseball. The Kalamazoo Growlers, a collegiate baseball team in the Northwoods League, tweeted on Friday that Manfred has been banned due to his crimes against baseball.
Okay.
And for standing in direct opposition of fun. I think it's great. I hate Gary Bettman. I absolutely despise the SOB.
Right.
But
right.
Gary Bettman, for all of his faults and foibles, Gary Bettman has not done. I mean, actually, I take it back. The dumb son of a bitch has done everything he can to ruin hockey.
I was gonna say they've had 2 work stoppages under him, have they not?
They've a complete lost season. Well, 3. So he had the 95. He had the shortened season in 95. He was commissioner in 95.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Okay. Let's see. Can I?
So I mean, yes, thank you. There you go. So it's the Cork Bats Twitter page tweeting this out. Rob Manfred has punished MLB fans more than he did the Houston Astros. And I said it on this show 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago now, actually. Before COVID ruined the world, and we were talking about the punishments that the Astros were going to face, and how the fact it was they were going to be fined $5 million. Like, that doesn't punish the organization. That punishes the fans. And all the other people, both home and away, that now have to pay an extra $5 for a ticket.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I think the major thing that I didn't like about it is Manfred got up there and was laughing and giggling and smiling like something was done right.
Right.
You have a work stoppage right now, and the people that are the most pissed, obviously, are the fans. The ones who I'm most concerned about are the employees at these spring training facilities and also stadiums that these guys call home. Now, again, I know right now, when I was in Nashville last week, I went into the store that I went in and bought some T-shirts and stuff in. They're paying $20 an hour, so there are jobs available out there right now. But
Right.
at the end of the day, if you are used to doing food service or
A
whatever,
lot of the vendors hire people that are, um they bring in people who are mentally challenged
right? Exactly.
to work to work. So it's not like people are, these are people that have other means of making a living, and they
Right.
have their, it's not like they're waiting for the stadiums to open back up for the revenue. The people that I'm most concerned for are your bars and nightclubs,
Mhm.
your hospitality people, all those jobs that are created every year that people rely on to get them through the summer. Like
Right.
the teacher that takes a job at the local motel because there's extra work available while they're on they're on summer vacation. And
Hmm.
this is where they're going to make their, they make enough money working 3 nights a week at the local
Yeah.
hotel or motel in Nashville. Well, not Nashville, because Nashville doesn't have a baseball team, but Tampa Bay
Same.
or Detroit or Chicago or New
Yep.
York, or you know, and it's more like, you're looking at your small state like Tampa Bay, where, like New York, Detroit, L.A., Miami.
Hmm.
I don't think those places are gonna hurt for the 20 to 40,000 baseball fans that come in
Right.
every night. It's the places like Tampa Bay who, the small market teams, San Diego, their only sport is baseball now.
Oakland
Oakland,
Athletic.
their only sport is baseball.
Yep.
Kansas City, Kansas City is a huge baseball city. St. Louis is a huge baseball city. Cincinnati, those are the places that are going to be really affected by it. And I feel for all those people that are working, working in hospitality or retail, that rely on the influx of cash from the spectators that come to watch the game.
Hmm. Well, I was in the airport in St. Louis when I flew home on Monday, and
Right.
there's numerous stores in there that are selling Blues and Cardinal gear. Now, obviously, you could sell Blues stuff. I mean, I passed a couple people in Blues hockey jerseys, and they were nice jersey. I'm wearing my Lightning jersey home, like nice jersey. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect to get that from a St. Louis fan, but okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you. That's usually yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't go into in the store, but I was meaning to go in and ask them how much Cardinal stuff that they've sold so far, because I
Right.
guarantee you
Right.
it's probably not what they thought they would be selling, because the Cardinals really were a decent baseball
They
team,
were a good team last year.
and this is
They're a piece away from
Yadier
being
Molina's last season. Yadier
right.
Molina is hanging it up after this year,
And
so
they're a piece or two away from being a or a World Series
serious
contender.
contender. Correct, they are. That is correct. Now, if there's any good news for Rays fans out there, this is giving them more time to look for a new stadium, because now there's no season to worry about right now, so they can go and negotiate with Tampa or St. Pete or wherever they're going to build their new stadium. So it does kind of give a little bit of some positivity for the Rays. Um, Derek Jeter stepped down as CEO of the Marlins. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did see that.
Yep. So that and again, if you guys do not know, the first two series of the MLB season have been canceled. I can see more games being canceled within the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks. There'll be more games canceled unless they come up with some. Hopefully, maybe for all the baseball fans out there, let's cross our fingers, and by the time we get to Thursday of this week, maybe we'll have a deal done. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be
I
nice
don't think so either. I
nice
think we're going to
on
lose the
Thursday,
season.
and that would be that. But yeah, I agree with Adam. I think Rob Manfred is an asshole, um, and I think he has now found himself in the worst commissioner spot in sports, because yeah, Gary Bettman is a dick himself, but
Right.
He isn't
He's
up there.
completely
He's up there laughing and giggling and laughing like it's all funny when you're not
right.
games. And
He's a complete
the
Gary
owners need
Bettman's
to
a
get him
completely
out of there.
useless tool.
Yeah, the owners need to get him out in MLB. The owners need to get him out.
Right, and I think the owner, it's cutting off your nose to spite your own face.
Right. Correct.
These owners don't want to pay their players anymore. They'd rather lose baseball games. They'd rather lose all the revenue and the TV revenue. And how are they going to convince fans to come back?
There's
this
the
is different. This is not the same level as the NBA or the NFL protests from a couple years ago, where people were mad because the NFL was getting away from was opening up to to politics. It's totally different. We are not playing baseball right now.
Right.
Baseball already struggles to draw fans anyway. They struggle to draw fans both at the major league level,
and
the minor league level, and the collegiate level.
Yeah. And college baseball is going on right now, but does anyone give a shit? No.
I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care.
Too.
And USF's a good baseball team too. I'm right across the bay from one of the good teams too.
Right.
So.
Right. And who gives a shit?
Yep.
I'm like, and where are they gonna? How is baseball even gonna? What are you gonna do if baseball doesn't recover from this? Let's say they lose the entire season, right? And in November they finally get a deal done. And what happens when nobody wants to go see these assholes play? Because everybody's being a selfish, greedy mother effer.
I think at the end of the day, Bud, when it comes down to it, I think no matter when they get a deal done, you're gonna have within the least.
I'm completely disillusioned at this point.
You're going to have people not show up at all because they feel the same way that we do.
I'm completely disillusioned with the MLB.
Yeah.
And any team that wants my support will ban Rob Manfred. They will tell Ryan Manfred to take a flying F at a rolling donut because that guy is doing more to ruin baseball than the steroids could have ever dreamed of.
Yeah. And you know what's going to end up happening? That's what's going to have to happen to bring the fans back.
Another slugfest.
It's going to have to be another. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to have to.
They're going to have to juice the balls so balls.
Correct.
Because no one wants to watch not their team in a pitching duel.
Yeah.
Sorry. If I'm watching Cincinnati and Miami, I don't want to watch a 2-1 pitching duel.
No.
I would a 7-8 slugfest. That's exciting. 2-1 unless 2-1 1-0 3-2 is boring unless it's my pitcher.
No one wants to see a no-hitter or a perfect game. Unless
it's their pitcher.
Correct.
If it's my pitcher,
correct.
If my pitcher went 20, if all 5 of my guys went 27 and 27, 27 up, 27 down for 30 games, I'd be beside myself. Other than that, I want to watch hitting.
Yeah.
I want to see guys rake.
Baseball is supposed to be that way. Baseball is supposed to be hitting the ball, hitting people, scoring runs. It doesn't have to be home runs. It could be singles.
Get them over, get them on, get them over, get them in. Small ball.
Yep. It could be
and
triples, doubles. Those are exciting.
Loose as hell all day. And there's another one around.
Accident.
Everybody made it. Yeah. The 20 got loose coming off a 2 and chased it up the track and couldn't catch it. And then the 21, she was checking up for it and swapped ends. But no. Ooh, that car is killed.
Speaking of that, real quick, to make an off-the-world thing, I was watching Marty and McGee yesterday, and they had Richard Childress on. Obviously, you know who he is.
Yeah.
I guess him and his group that he's a part of sent over 1 million rounds of ammunition to the Ukraine president. So that's what he.
To the Ukrainian people. Yep.
And they asked him about the whole supply shortage with cars.
Right?
Asked him that question.
We might be short on cars, but we ain't short on bullets. Here you go, have some.
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, we're not short on bullets. He goes, but when it comes to us drivers and our cars, we have to we have to be careful we don't wreck too many cars because we don't have the supply right now
Wiped
to
out a half a dozen cars already today, man. It's been
replace
crazy.
the
But
that are banged up.
but baseball, I mean, I've been trying to figure out how, my thing is like they want to ban the shift. Ban the shift. I keep hearing that. Ban the shift, ban the shift. I'm like, give it 5 years and teach people how to hit.
Yep. Correct.
Teach people to hit for power to all fields, man. You want to fix baseball, you want to get teams out of the shift. Teach people how to hit for power to all fields.
Yep. Teach them how to become what do they call that?
A 5-tool player?
Hitting to the opposite field.
Yeah.
So no matter to become an all around
and teaching them how to be how not to be a dead pull hitter. You got so many guys that pull to the right. You got right-handed sticks that pull to that stay on the ball. Everything goes to the first base side or the third base side.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put 3 extra guys over there.
Yep. Correct.
And teach people how to hit. And give it 5 years. Teach people how to hit and give it 5 years, and the game will correct. It's a self-correcting. It's a self-correcting situation.
Yep.
You start trying to.
Well, you were just talking, Bud, about college baseball. The day that I went and saw the rugby game, the USF rugby game, which I didn't get a chance to see it. The guy that we had on here, I didn't get a chance to talk. I got there too late. But I mean, that same day they were having a baseball game, and had my dumb ass not gotten sunburned from being out in the sun and not wearing sunscreen, because it was 70 degrees outside. I'm like, that's no big deal. Sun is sun.
I'd be all right.
So
the sun doesn't.
I would have gone.
Doesn't care whether it's 1 degree or 1 million degrees. It's still gonna burn your ass.
Yeah. So I was gonna go to the baseball game. I'm like, I'm already sunburned. I don't want to go sit out in the sun anymore today. But no one cares. And the only time that I care about college baseball is when we get to Omaha. When they get to Omaha, then you start caring about college baseball. As you do with basketball, unless you are an absolute, crazy college basketball fan that watches every basketball game your team plays, you're a March Madness person like I am. We're in March. Now we're going to be able to watch the best teams, or you're going to get Cinderellas. We don't know who the Cinderellas are at the Media Moment, but there's going to be a couple of them, as there is every year.
Every year.
Or a couple of Cinderellas.
Right.
So same thing with that, with college baseball. Once they get to Omaha, then we start worrying about, who's this team?
And college baseball is one of those sports where I don't care. Like college football or college basketball. I will watch my team play college basketball.
Right.
When it comes to everybody else playing, I don't really care until March Madness. With college baseball, if my team is in the World Series, cool. Otherwise, I couldn't give a shit.
Yep. Yeah. See, that's how it is too. So
college baseball is no better than like there's nothing different about college baseball the way there is about college basketball, college football. College basketball, college football, they're so much different than pro ball that it's interesting to watch. College baseball is baseball. 3-3-9.
Yep. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, too, I mean, no offense, there's no college game day for college baseball when the football season is over. There is college game day for college basketball once the football season ends. But none of us get up on a Saturday morning to watch college game day.
In June.
We don't do that.
When it's gorgeous.
Yeah, correct.
When it's gonna be 85, and it's gonna be 85 this afternoon, and I got 15 beers calling my name and a pole that needs to go in the water.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
When the Redneck Yacht Club is getting ready to fire up again for the season.
Right.
I'm not out here going, oh man, but I wanted to watch the college baseball game. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean,
If only Old Dominion was playing Temple this Saturday afternoon instead of baseball. I mean, think about the fact that if Old Dominion played Temple in college football, we'd watch the shit out of it
oh hell
because it's college
yeah,
football, and I
right.
couldn't care less who was playing. I will watch high school football. I will watch
I'm gonna,
three 3-armed children play football
I
with
was
3
at
arms.
I was at a subpar football league last night watching a football game. So there you go, right here in Florida. So there you
I
go.
will watch 3 kids with 3 arms between the 3 of them and 2 legs all taped together play football. That's how much I like football. I will watch college hockey. I will watch high school hockey. I will watch pro hockey. I will watch semi-pro hockey. I will watch AHL. I will watch Russian. I will watch international hockey.
Mhm.
I will watch pro basketball. I will watch pro foot or pro college based basketball. I'll watch a little bit of the G League. Every now and again, if it's on and I'm like, oh hey, I'll turn it on for a couple minutes and watch it. Um, I'll even watch if the Lady Wolverines are playing. I'll watch them play college
Right,
basketball.
right.
I am not. I am yippee skippy. Who cares if there's college baseball on?
Yeah, yep.
Not even your mom watches you play college baseball. Come on. Your
I think.
mom's like,
Well, to be honest with you, I think those are the only people that do go to college baseball games are the parents of the players that play, because
yeah,
that are either their family. Oh, that's my nephew or whatever. I mean, it's not college football is different because you have fans like us and like me. I'm a media person, so I get to go and be there for the for media purposes. But um, I'm looking forward to the spring game in a couple weeks.
right.
But the cool thing about it is it's under the lights at Raymond James
Oh
Stadium.
wow, interesting.
6 o'clock kickoff, so it won't be hot. Well, no, it won't. Shouldn't
It's
be too
Florida. It'll
hot.
be hot.
It'll be hot. I mean, the sun won't be out. No, yes, it will be
Right.
because we change the clocks back next Sunday. We bring the clocks ahead, so it'll be darker.
Why?
Yeah, we do that next week. That's the thing. So everybody, next Thursday, we'll remind you to turn your clocks ahead on Sunday or on Saturday
Can we
night. I
just
think
leave it alone? We need
well,
to stop.
they want to leave it at where it's going to be now, but moving forward,
Right.
never
I
ahead.
just wish they would pick one and leave it. Just pick one and leave it.
I will have to say that it was kind of cool being in a different time zone.
I was going to ask you about that.
Central time, so it was different. It was different to be in the Central time zone where the hockey game that started at 7:30 Eastern time started at 6:30 Central time. So we were like, oh, we're gonna go down to the stadium at 5. A couple hours. We'll go down there. We'll walk around. And then my roommate's like, no, the game starts at 6:30. Fudge cakes. Okay, we got to go at 4. Got another 4 o'clock now. So you had to. We got there from having lunch with Ralph, driving around the city. I'm like, okay, jump in the shower, throw your many layers of clothes on, and you gotta Uber it to the stadium. Once we get there,
Right.
Bitch. Then when we left, we walked. There's a pedestrian bridge that leads you from downtown to Nissan Stadium. So we walked that twice. The Friday that we were, it was cold on Friday walking across it. But then on Saturday night, we were walking back into the city to catch the trolley from our hotel back to the hotel at 11 o'clock at night. So that's different. But yeah, I mean, it's different, obviously. But at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, baseball needs to get their shit together.
Right.
Even
if they do, I'm proposing a baseball ban on this show until Rob Manfred is gone.
I can make that happen. I'm the one.
I'm saying this. If we have, even if they get a deal done tomorrow, no baseball on the show until Rob Manfred's gone. That's what I'm proposing.
We can make. I'm the one who runs the board, so I can make that happen.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there because Because if we're going to actually send a message to the MLB that we want this nonsense stopped, we have to do something.
Right. We can run that by Lou and see what he says, but I don't have a problem with that. But if that's
because if we want this stopped, if we want this fixed, if we want baseball back and we want baseball right, we have to put it out there that we're not going to pay for the product until things are changed. And we cannot slip and buy a hat or buy a t-shirt or go to a game or watch a game.
Right.
No baseball. I will absolutely not watch any baseball until Rob Manfred is gone. I will not participate. If I could get AT&T to drop the MLB package from MLB Network from my package, I would. If I could get them to drop one channel for me, I would.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even care if they replaced it with something else. Drop MLB Network, and we're good.
I was watching MLB Network the other day, but it was a replay of the ALCS from last year when the Red Sox beat the Reds. So, but I've been trying to tune in to see if there's any updates because they would know better than I would. But I don't watch a lot. I haven't watched a lot of MLB Network over the last few years, anyway. So
I know, neither have I. But on principle, call your cable company and have them drop it.
Yeah,
because that's how we're gonna send it. That's how we send the message that we are not happy.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we're not. I mean, if you can, we need to go to our local print shops and print T-shirts for our favorite players.
Yeah.
Go to print shop, get a blank T-shirt in your team's color, blank T-shirt. Obviously, this is my Batman T-shirt, but get a blank, plain black, gray, green, red, whatever color your team is. Get your favorite team player's name printed on the back of it and wear that. And no logos, no identifying marks. We are supporting our favorite players. We support our players. We do not support our organizations. We don't support the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Tigers, the Rays, all these owners that will absolutely not negotiate with the players. We support the players. We do not support the organization. That will send a message.
Yep.
You have Freddie Freeman or Miguel Cabrera or
Sander Bogarts,
whoever your favorite player is on the back of your jersey, on the back of a blank plain T-shirt, an unadorned T-shirt, and even better, get it in a neutral color.
Yeah,
get it in non-team colors.
Yep.
Don't get it in a blue and orange. Get it in a neutral color. Don't get it in Red Sox red. Get it in black.
Correct.
Because we are so fed up with all these people that are so greedy that won't give, that would penny wise and pound foolish. That they would rather sacrifice $1 tomorrow for a penny today.
Yep. Yep. Well, like I said, I mean,
could go on for another hour because this is just absolutely maddening. Maddening that we're not going to have baseball in 2 weeks because we can't just put aside our differences and work together and get a deal done so we can play baseball and make it. Nobody's going to make any money because you can't make all the money. What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. Yep. Correct.
Because I want to get paid.
You go ahead.
Because as a player, I want to get paid for doing my
job.
Blankety blanking job.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything because you're a bunch of assholes.
Yep.
I'm not going to get any kind of GD money because you guys are a bunch of assholes. And the fans, are going to turn it off. I'm not going to watch baseball.
I've heard that a lot, but honestly, on local radio here, there's been a lot of people that have called into the local sports radio that I listen to every morning on my way to work, and that's what they said. They're like, you know what? Even when baseball comes back, I'm not watching it. I'm not going to a Rays game either. Until things change, we're gonna send a message to the players and the owners both. We're not putting up with your bullshit no more. So like I said, I guarantee you, even if baseball comes back, the first 2 months of the season, there'll be very limited fans. The only fans that'll be there will be the ones that are absolute hardcore fans, or the ones
Diehards that don't,
or the ones
diehards that don't care, that want baseball,
or the ones that have paid for season tickets. That's
right.
it. If you paid for
That
season
would be
tickets,
that's where we could really get some movement going. Is if everyone called the ticket office, canceled them.
Yeah, that would hit the owners real hard, wouldn't it?
That would put the fear of God in the owners. Call and cancel your season tickets.
Yep, that is correct. All right, bud. Anything else you want to talk about? As we're at the 2-hour mark.
We're at the 2-hour mark.
Yep.
I don't know. You got anything else? I could go for another 2 hours. I'm just having fun, man. I love hanging out.
I gotta go jump in the shower and go pick up my dinner in about a half hour.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
Chicken enchiladas. I'm going to pick it up at a Mexican restaurant. So
sounds good.
Yep. But with that, guys, this has been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Talk Radio and part of NGSE Sports. Remember the website, guys. It's ngsesports.com for all your current sports content. Head over to the Walker Report YouTube page where this show will be in its entirety right after the show, and check that out. We are sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com, and I'm working on getting us a new sponsor here soon, so it's in the works. With that, other than that, guys, we will be back in 4 days at our normal time at 8 o'clock on Thursday. We'll be back for that. But until then, guys, everyone, please stay safe out there. Our thoughts and prayers with the people in Ukraine. With that as well, we're reaching out from U.S. saying thoughts and prayers to you guys. We want to thank, of course, the lovely women of our armed services and our first responders. Thank you for doing what you do here locally for us. But until Thursday, guys, we love all of you. Thank you. I am the Sports Nerd. Peace.